then we'll go. Okay? All right. Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you are the person that's committed the crime. As you stand before me today, of course, you are presumed to be innocent. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office can prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We will set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I will gladly appoint the public defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Very good. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Patricia Hamilton. Morning, Patricia. What's your date of birth?
September 1st, 1957.
All right. Patricia, the first thing I have for you this morning is a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 2 counts, dealing in stolen property and falsification of ownership to a pawnbroker. The second warrant, also signed by Judge Scaglione, same 2 charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes, sir.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
He has a prior battery that was dropped, Sumter 2013,
Mm-hmm.
And she also has an open case out of Sumter County. That's really good.
And Patricia, I have an address for you in Cross City. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 3 weeks.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
The cook
Where do you cook?
at Cypress Inn.
Okay. I set your bond at $2,000 on each charge, so your total is $8,000. I'm going to have you back on all of these on the 22nd of August. And Patricia, it's very important that if you bond out, you go and see the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Danielle Harris. Morning, Ms. Harris. What's your date of birth?
12/10/87.
Ms. Harris, the charge is disorderly intoxication. There's probable cause for the charge. And State, is this something she can resolve this morning if she's so inclined?
Judge, she does have a little bit of a record, so I would be inclined to do 10 days for Hernando County Jail.
Okay. Danielle, any interest in doing 10 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, Your Honor.
As to the charge of disorderly intoxication, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
Accept the plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days in the county jail, give you credit for 1 day served. Be a fine and court cost of $503 and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it, Danielle. You just need to finish up the time, all right?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Petal-Hadley.
Judge, she already has a case that is on the owner docket. We'd ask that she be set for, it could be August. Probably bring her back next week, probably too soon. So if we had August 28th
Okay.
for this case, that'd probably give enough time to get everything all together.
And Danielle, what's your date of birth?
10/19/1985.
All right. And this is the one. Yep. All right, this is now a grand theft, Danielle. There's probable cause for the charge. Would you like to continue with the public defender on these?
Yes,
Okay. We'll leave the bond per the schedule, which is the $2,000. I'll move it to the 28th of August, since that's where your other cases are, and I'm sure you'll be seeing your lawyer real soon, all right?
Our other cases are coming back next week, Judge, but
There won't be anything to do with this one then.
exactly.
Okay. So this one will be back, be synced up with the other cases, Danielle, by the 28th, okay?
yes, sir.
Thank you.
If we can get something worked out, we'll just bring it back.
Amy Troxel. Morning, Amy. What's your date of birth?
5/18/95.
Okay. Amy, this was a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 4 counts, 2 counts of dealing in stolen property, and 2 counts of defrauding a pawnbroker. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State what can you tell me?
Judge, it just looks like she has an open theft case out of Sumter.
Okay. And Amy, I have an address for you also in Cross City. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
I was there about a week.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I do not at this time.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000 on each count, so the total will be $8,000. I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. If you get out, Amy, make sure you go see the public defender right away, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Shannon Snow.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Shannon. What's your date of birth?
12/20/1982.
Shannon, the charge is grand theft auto. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please.
Very good. I'll appoint the PD. State.
Now, she
Okay, I also want you to know
Hang on 1 second. I'll get to you in a second, and before you say anything, so just hang on 1 second, all right, Shannon?
She
Yes,
has
ma'am.
a battery
Yes.
charge, 2003 Hernando, PTI. It looks like she might have open cases. I have a trespassing case out of Hernando, as well as a disturbing the peace case, Hernando.
Those are
And
resolved.
failure to appear 2015 out of Pasco.
Okay. Shannon, you certainly have a right to tell me anything that you want to tell me at this point, but if you start talking about the facts of this charge, that almost always is a bad thing. The time to tell that story is when you're speaking to the attorney who's representing you. I've sworn you in this morning, and the assistant state attorney is here listening, and anything that you say can be used against you. So if you're going to talk about the facts, that may not be a good idea, but I won't stop you from telling me anything you want to tell me, all right?
Yes, sir. Can you tell me who made these charges?
Well, the charges come at this point from the detective or the officer that made the arrest. But after that, I'm going to leave the talking about the facts to your lawyer. Okay? They'll share all of that with you.
Okay. I also did tell them that I'm the one that purchased that vehicle with my Social Security money, so that vehicle was not stolen.
Okay, and that again is a conversation to have with your attorney. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have an address for you on Keepsake Trail in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
No, I live over off of 11477 Tuscany Avenue.
Okay. How long have you been on Tuscany?
For about close to a month.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
No. I'm actually get Social Security.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. We'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. And as soon as you get out, go through the PD so you can tell them what happened, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And what was the date, sir?
August 22nd.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chelsea Collins. Morning, Ms. Collins. What's your date of birth?
10/7/89.
Ms. Collins, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, would you like to represent yourself, or are you going to hire private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. Bond on the warrant, of course, is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to have you back to see Judge Merritt on the 22nd of August. When you speak to your lawyer, make sure you tell him about that court date, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did she say public defender?
Yeah. No, she said private. Private. Richard Dumas. Morning, Richard. What's your date of birth?
2/26/81.
Richard, the charge is battery, being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what keeps coming.
Judge, he has a failure to appear, Sumter 2017, as well as that was for petty theft. He also has on Marion County 2017 a petty theft charge that was guilty. He has out-of-state history out of looks like Maryland. He has a bunch of burglary charges. I don't have dispositions back in the 2000.
Mm-hmm. And Richard, I have an address for you on Minnesota Beach Road in Inglewood. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 8 months.
Okay. And does Miss Sosa live there as well?
No.
Okay. Was she living there last week?
She stays there occasionally. She lives in the villages.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
I'll set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you're going to have no contact with Miss Sousa. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. You don't go where she lives. You don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you will be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she's allowed to make. It's conceivable that she could go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She might tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who's handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume that they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I'm going to hold you at the jail today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'll have you back in court on the 16th of August. Very important when you bond out that you go and see the public defender, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Jesse Garcia. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
September 2nd, 1986.
Jesse, you're hearing a warrant that was signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for one count of battery being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Can I just get sentenced today?
Not on a domestic case. Nope.
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. State.
Judge, I'm showing 2008 Hernando aggravated assault that was no pros, as well as 2005 Hernando aggravated battery that was dropped.
And Jesse, I have an address. I don't have an address for you. Where have you been staying lately?
Streets?
Okay. And you have a job these days?
No.
I'll set the bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with John Becken. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes.
Did you understand that?
Yes.
Good. I will have you back in court then on the 16th of August. Very important that you go see the public defender if you get out, all right?
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you. Christopher Gilpin. Morning, Christopher. What's your date of birth?
3/21/71, sir.
Christopher, the charge is felony driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you want the public defender? I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
2010 Pasco, failure to appear, Hernando 2007, a dwellist that was guilty. 2004 Pasco, dwellist that was guilty, resisting without violence, guilty. As well as 2004 Hernando, a grand theft that was guilty. And he has more charges back in the 90s, so it looks like resisting without was guilty.
There's a bunch of old DUIs, too. All right, Christopher, where you been staying lately?
At my uncle's house, 18401 Bensland Drive.
Do you have a job these days?
I've been working here and there.
Okay. Leave the bond at the schedule, which is $2,000 on your case. I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. Very important that you go see the public defender when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Benjamin Goodwin. Morning, Benjamin. What's your date of birth?
6/16/89.
Benjamin, I have 3 charges this morning: grand theft, dealing in stolen property, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. There's probable cause for those 3 charges. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please,
I'll
sir.
appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
He has a prior petty theft that was guilty, 2016 Hernando. And he also a theft charge out of Pasco 2015 with no disposition. And then he has an out-of-state out of New Hampshire. It looks like he has theft charges, disorderly conduct, and back in like 2009 and 2005.
Okay. And Benjamin, I have an address for you on Boatwright Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 4 months.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. I'm working at Taco Bell on 50.
Okay. Set your bond at $2,000 on each count, so your total is $6,000. We'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. Very important that you go see the public defender if you get out, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Cody Graham. Morning, Cody. What's your date of birth?
05/07/1993.
Cody, the charge, actually it's a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for 1 count of felony domestic battery by strangulation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
What PD?
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, he has a battery that was dropped out of Hernando 2012, and he's currently on PTI on case number 16MM3426.
Okay. All right. And Cody, I have an address for you on Macassar Road in Wekiwachi. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
I just, about 2 months now.
And does Amanda live there as well?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a front-end loader operator.
Okay. set the bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Amanda LaFrancois. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. Very important that you go see the public defender if you get out, all right? Arthur Graham? This looks like he was just picked up on an RCO. Arthur, it looks like you just got picked up on a recommitment order. Do you have the public defender or private counsel already?
Yeah.
PD? Okay. Well, they certainly now know where you are. Looks like you're set for court on the 10th of August, and they will come see you before then, all right? Thank you. Ron Saz?
Yeah.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/31/60.
All right, Ron, and this is a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. Are you currently on felony probation?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is.
It should be attached to yesterday's thing.
Well, it looks like you took a plea on a driving charge yesterday. Is that right?
Yeah. But it was all because of a misunderstanding with the clerk's office downstairs.
Okay.
I was there at the court, basically. I was there, but I didn't go upstairs. I just stayed downstairs.
Okay. Well, hang on.
Clerk's office.
Hang on.
Told me to come on the 24th.
Okay, unfortunately, so don't say anything else, Ron. Unfortunately, where we're at right now, if you took a plea to a misdemeanor and you're currently on felony probation, there's certainly probable cause for the VOP. Now, that arrest came not apparently from your probation officer, so that maybe you can get it worked out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who put you on probation, do you remember? Judge Merritt or Judge Toner?
Merritt. Merritt. That was a couple years back.
And can we get a early Judge Merritt date?
Because so far I got a clean record with her.
Oh, well, cleanish.
Clean, yeah.
What's that? This all says felony. It's because it said they contested Moraga, and this felony it was for a grand theft, right, Ron?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Merritt Jr. I haven't.
Yeah. The CT case is the one he pled to that created the problem. Right. Yeah, they wrote the CT number on the booking sheet, and it's on the arrest affidavit. But what they're talking about, they don't even mention the felony case number.
Right.
So, which we probably want that too.
It's 15 CF 1681.
Whatever.
1681, Brittany?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So that is the allegation, that he's violated that probation, and that's Judge Merritt. And then how soon can I get him in front of Judge Merritt? 8/8. Sounds great. All right. So Ron, you want the public defender?
I ain't going home today.
No, I can't. I'm going to move you up as far as I can, which is going to be August 8th, because I'm with you, Ron. There's not a thing in the world I can do about it right now.
Can I just come back on August 8th? Because I don't miss no court dates or nothing.
Are you
I
working?
never do. Yeah.
What do you do?
And I do for lawn maintenance.
Okay. And when you took the plea yesterday, did you tell anybody that you were on felony probation?
Yeah, they already knew. Yeah. The judge already knew that.
You told the
I
judge?
thought everything. The lady judge.
Oh, I know.
From yesterday?
Yeah. Did you tell her you were on felony probation?
Yeah, she knew that. Yeah.
Well, that seems unlikely.
No.
Did she
Yeah.
say, what did she tell you, that if you took the plea, you might wind up right where you're at right now?
No, she didn't say that.
What did she say about your probation?
She said so long, it's up to her. It's up to my probation lady,
Oh,
Miss Rivera.
who probably
But I
hasn't
didn't have
even
a
found
good
out
standing
about it
with-
yet.
I've just been having a good standing with that
Okay,
department.
how long you been on probation?
For 2 years
Okay.
and something.
Okay,
I only got till November.
okay.
That's why I don't want to mess it up.
Hang on, I'm gonna appoint the public defender. I'm going to move your case up to the 8th of August, and I'm gonna set you a bond of $500, which nobody ever gets bond on a felony VOP, but I'm gonna. So you can get out if you can bond out, alright, Ron? $500.
Walking? 500?
500, you can see a bondsman, I think it's $100 through a bondsman. Okay? But then you gotta be back in court on the 8th of August. Don't miss court, alright?
No, I ain't gonna miss court. You just, you know.
I'm with you. It's a little screwy. That's why I set you a bond, alright?
Alright.
Okay, man. Good luck.
Okay.
Christopher Hamilton.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
08/11/1990.
Chris, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Caglione. He found probable cause for 2 counts, dealing in stolen property and defrauding a pawnbroker. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Judge, I'm showing no criminal history.
And Christopher, I have an address for you in Cross City. How long you been there?
About a week, sir.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Not right now, sir.
I'll set your bond at $500 on each count. The total's $1,000. Have you back in court on the 22nd of August. Make sure you go see the public defender when you get out, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. William Hutchinson. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/15/83.
The charge this morning is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
Judge, he has a prior battery charge, 2016 Hernando, that was dropped, and that's all the history.
Okay. And let's see. And Ms. Hutchinson, did you want to be heard, or you just...
Yes, I was wondering if...
Don't yell at me from there. Come on up. Hang on. There you go. Solemnly swear firm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth.
Yes, sir.
State your name.
Ashley Nicole Hutchinson.
Okay. What do you want to tell me?
They told me that there was going to be an injunction where no contact between me and him for 30 days. And I was wondering if that was with my kids as well, because I am afraid that he is going to go and pick my son up, and then I won't see him for 30 days.
Okay.
Also, yesterday, he left my son unattended to for 30 to 45 minutes. No one was with him. And
Okay.
he told me he dropped him off.
Okay.
With someone.
Here, and you've been here all morning, right, Ashley?
Waiting, yes.
Okay. So you've heard me order no contact.
Yes, sir, that's why I
Okay.
was asking.
Here's the deal with that no contact. It lasts until this case is resolved, or until, in this particular situation, or until I say it's done. So there's no 30 days or anything.
Okay.
It's for the life of this case.
Okay, but what about my children? That's what I'm worried
And
about.
what I will tell him in a moment, and I'm telling you, is that the no contact means, as you heard me explain, no contact of any kind, and people ask me about their kids, and what I say is, well, if you could manage to have contact with your kids without having contact with, in this case, your soon-to-be ex-wife, then you might be able to arrange that. What I would suggest, it's almost impossible. The answer is it's almost impossible for him to get contact with his children while this case is pending, because that has to be done through you, and there is no way for him to make arrangements through you to see his kid.
I'm just worried he's going to pick them up from daycare while I'm at work.
All right. So then the next answer there is for you to go downstairs today and file for a civil injunction, which I've explained to these folks also. The civil injunction will get you in front of a circuit court judge right away, and they can make provisions regarding the children. I don't really have the authority at first appearance here to do that,
Okay.
but the circuit judge will. If you get, there'll be a decision. If you fill out the paperwork this morning, there'll be a decision made on your injunction right away this morning.
Okay.
Okay.
So before he...
Because he's been charged this morning. It's likely that your injunction will be granted because he has a pending criminal charge.
Okay.
That injunction will stop him from having contact with any of your in common children. It'll get set for a hearing within 2 weeks, and then at that point, the circuit judge will have an opportunity to decide what your situation will be going from there, all right?
Okay.
But it's very important that you go file that this morning, as long as you're here.
And it was called a...
It's a domestic violence injunction. If you go downstairs to the second floor, you get off the elevator and make a left turn, you'll walk right into that office. If you tell them you want a domestic violence injunction, the folks there will make sure that you get everything you need. As soon as you fill out the form, they're going to get it right back upstairs to the duty judge, who's right next door. She's going to look at it. Like I said, my guess is she'll sign the injunction, I'm going to keep him at the jail today until they're able to serve that injunction on him, so it'll have been served on him before he leaves the jail.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Thank you. All right. And William, I have an address for you on Brittle Road in Brooksville. Is that where you were living?
Yes, sir.
And is that where you were living with Ashley here?
No, sir.
Okay. So, Ashley, you live someplace other than Brittle Road?
I live on Brittle Road, 17199 Brittle Road.
Different address than him?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. And William, are you working these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I load cement trucks.
Okay. All right. And I'm sorry, Brittany, you said there was one dropped battery? That was the history?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, William, I'm going to set your bond to $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Ashley. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Also going to hold you until 4 p.m. this afternoon. In your case, it may not be that long because it sounds like she's going to go right downstairs and get the paperwork for a civil injunction. If they serve, and it sounds like they will, if they serve that paperwork on you this afternoon or sometime this morning, then you not only will have to abide by my no contact order, you're also going to have to abide by the injunction. The injunction that you receive, if you receive it, is going to be even more far-reaching than my no contact order. So make sure that you read it and pay attention. I'll have you back in court on the 16th of August. If you get out, very important that you go see the public defender right away, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Luke Reed. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
04/07/98.
Luke, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for one count of burglary of a dwelling. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
He has a burglary of a conveyance charge that was guilty 2016 Hernando, as well as a trespass that was guilty and a paraphernalia that was guilty.
Are you on probation right now, Luke?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And I have an address on Linden Drive. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you lived there?
About 2 years.
And do you have a job these days?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Francis Sapone or 11389 Linden Drive. Is that like very close to where you live?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't want you going there. I don't want you looking at Francis or giving her the high sign or him, whoever it is. So stay away from that address, all right?
All right, Your Honor.
And I will have you back in court on the 22nd of August, okay? Make sure you go see the public defender if you get out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jim Richardson? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/15/78.
Jim, there's 3 charges this morning: driving under the influence, operating a motor vehicle without a valid license, and possession of controlled substance without prescription. There's probable cause for all 3 of those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you wish to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Judge, it looks like he has history out of Texas, 2015, a DUI, and I do not have disposition, as well as back in 2000, aggravated assault. Looks like it was guilty, and also Wisconsin, 2003, a battery charge, no disposition.
Okay. And, sir, I've got an address for you on, looks like Chafee Point Boulevard in Jacksonville. Is that where you live?
That's my company, Baker Hotels.
Okay.
So that was where I established at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So that's where I took out my ID. But I'm here at Bushnell.
Okay.
That's where I'm staying at right now, the Micro Hotel.
Okay.
And on the weekends, I stay at my uncle's house in Hernando. It's 1809 Newton Street.
Okay. All right. Well, Jim, I'll tell you what. I don't know what went on between you and Trooper Gartner, but he asked me to ROR you on the first two charges and set $1,000 on the third one. That's pretty unusual, but I'm sure he had his reasons, so I'll do that. I'll give you a ROR on counts 1 and 2, 1,000 on count 3. I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. All right?
What was it to it? 1,000?
Your total is 1,000. Yep.
I was going to tell you something about the controlled substance. Those are 20 milligram Adderall. Those are my son.
Stop, Jim, stop right there. Let me tell you what. Like I said, whatever went on, you're already at a bond that's a lot lower than I would have set. So,
okay.
So
thank you, sir.
You told something to Trooper Gartner that made him believe. So we'll just leave it at that. You don't have to try to make me believe, because I'm probably more cynical than Trooper Gartner even. So, you better quit while you're ahead.
All right, sir. Sorry.
There you go. No problem. Etienne Saunders.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. Date of birth?
3/29/83.
All right. Etienne, this morning I have a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for fleeing or attempting to elude, driving on a suspended license, and and then a warrant signed by Judge Eineman, who found probable cause for a grand theft auto. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I would like a PD, but I'm going to try to hire my own counsel.
Okay. We'll appoint the public defender for now, Etienne. If you're able to hire private counsel, make sure they let the PD know. State, what can you tell me?
Yes, sir.
2017 Brooksville, possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, guilty. He also has 2009 Hernando false imprisonment, guilty. Aggravated battery, guilty. Resisting without violence, guilty. 2005 Alachua, possession of firearm by felon, guilty. Resisting or fleeing, guilty. Resisting without violence, guilty. 2004 Hernando. He has 2002 Brooksville burglary, guilty. False imprisonment, guilty. Interference with child custody, guilty. Possession of cannabis with intent to sell, guilty, and that was 2001 Hernando.
Okay. And I have an address for you on Philadelphia Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
No, sir, that's not where I live.
Where do you live now?
Been staying on 306 Armstrong. I was staying with my cousin in Tampa for the last month, but 306 Armstrong is my address.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bonds for the warrant then, which is $2,000 and $5,000 on Judge Scaglione's warrant, $2,000 on Judge Eineman's, for a total of $9,000. All these charges coming back on the 22nd of August. If you're able to bond out, make sure that you go and see the public defender, and if you hire private counsel, make sure you tell them about that court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly Stepp. Morning, Kelly. What's your date of birth?
85.
Okay, one second. All right, this morning I have a battery and a trespass. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I represent myself.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
2015 Hernando battery that was guilty of failure to appear, Hernando 2012, as well as 2010 Hernando possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of paraphernalia guilty, Dwellis guilty, Bruce of fleeing that was guilty, and then 2008 Hernando battery that was guilty.
Okay. And Kelly, where have you been staying lately?
Anywhere I can.
All right. You have a job these days?
I do all kind of different things, yeah.
Okay. Hang on a second. All right, we'll leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the battery and $1,000 on the trespass. Condition of the bond is that you not have contact with the alleged victim. And we'll have you back in court on this on the 22nd. Well, we'll move it to the 14th of August because you got another case coming back then as well. So all your cases coming back August 14th, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Daniel Seymour. Want to sir, what's your date of birth?
January 6, 1974.
And Daniel, we've got 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, 2 counts of ag assault with a deadly weapon, 1 count of reckless driving. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender, Steve.
2003 Hernando, he has a battery that was no cross. 2002 Hernando, he has a battery that was guilty. And 99 Hernando, he has aggravated assault that was guilty and a battery that was guilty.
And Daniel, I have an address for you on Broad Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
13 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Sir, I'm on physical disability.
Okay. All right. On the 2 counts of aggravated battery, I'll set the bond at $5,000 each. On the 2 counts of ag assault at $2,000 each, and on the reckless driving at $500. That's going to be a total of $14,500. Condition of the bond, or $14,500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact whatsoever with any of the alleged victims. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that?
Yes, sir.
I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. Very important that you go and see the public defender as soon as you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sure, come on up.
Sir.
Raise your right hand for me, man. Solemnly swear firm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
State your name.
Deborah Dombrowski, I'm his mother.
Okay. Deborah, what do you want to tell me?
I just wanted to find out exactly what I need to do, if I can bond him out, or if the bond is as low as you could possibly go to help out.
It's certainly a strange situation, obviously. So I don't know what happened yesterday. It certainly appears to be out of character.
Yes.
Okay, but that doesn't change the serious nature of what happened yesterday. So I reduced it somewhat, so the total is $14,000. If you go speak to a bondsman there, they'll look for some percentage of that as well as some collateral.
I've already talked to one.
So you certainly can get him out. He's not to have any contact with the other folks, and that's probably not a problem because I bet he doesn't know who they are, given how this went down. And then after that, you just have to make sure he gets in to see the public defender right away, because this is a case where they're going to have some work to do, all right?
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Good luck to you, ma'am. Richard Schreiber.
Sure. Sir.
What's your date of birth?
8/28/84.
And Richard, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently, if you came to court and then left on a charge of battery, did you have a lawyer?
Sir.
All right.
I was hoping to get my probation reinstated. I'm the one that called the police. It was a disagreement at the house.
Okay, well, I have no idea what was going on with you in probation, because that's not what's here. What apparently happened is Judge Rupi called your case and you weren't there. That's what this is about. So if you're on probation, that's certainly an issue, but that's not the issue that's in front of me today.
Well, I had an appointment at 1:30 that the same day. I showed up to court, talked to my probation officer, told him I had to go to the contagious diseases doctor and wanted to exercise habeas corpus.
You wanted to exercise habeas corpus, so you took it for a walk, right?
Yes, sir. I went to my appointment and then I reported on Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, here's. Do you want a public defender on this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Judge Rupi set your bond at $10,000. I'm not going to change that. I'll have you back to see her on the 9th of August, because she's the one that set that bond. And if you get out, you should go and see the public defender right away. If you don't get out, they're going to come and see you. And in the meantime, they'll find out whether there's actually a probation issue or not. Is there a warrant pending?
Yes, it was a VOP.
Right.
And from what I understand, I think it was a certificate he needed to turn in. He never turned it in.
Okay.
I'm very vague on it because I remember when it happened.
Okay. Well, the thing to do if you're still there, Richard, and the PD comes to see you, make sure you talk to them, because it may be you can get everything worked out real easily. But for right now, all I have is this warrant that says you failed to appear.
Yeah, I have everything paid on probation. The only thing I have to do is the anger management class, and that's it.
Okay. Well, like I said, if you can get out, go see the PD. If you don't get out, they're going to come see you, and we'll try to get it worked out, all right?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Jesse Yarborough. Morning, Jesse. What's your date of birth?
12/1982.
Jesse charges grand theft auto. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Or would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, he has an aggravated battery 2015 Pasco that was dropped. Pasco 2015, as well as a domestic battery that was dropped. 2014 battery that was dropped. 2001 Pasco battery that was dropped. And another battery that was dropped. And he might have a pending case out of Zephyr Hills right now as a battery as well.
Okay. Jesse, I've got an address for you in Zephyr Hills. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
A year.
Got a job these days?
Yes, I'm an electrician.
Okay. Jesse, I'll set your bond at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of August. If you get out, make sure you go see the PD, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And Gary Mochnik there?
Yes, sir.
Did you get paperwork ever?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry. I made Mike wait all
Yes,
day.
I didn't really need it.
Morning, Mr. Mochnik. This is case number 16MM3087. It looks like the defense counsel set up for a change of plea, but there is a pending motion to dismiss. I'm going to grant the motion to dismiss as to all counts in the misdemeanor count. So, Mr. Mochnik, I've dismissed the misdemeanor cases. Sounds like you've already pled out on the felonies, so you're free to go wherever it is you need to go next, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
You bet.
All I have.
Good. Thanks.